Salutations from Micro Homestead Business. Hey there, and welcome to my little corner of the internet where the soil is rich, the colors are homegrown, and the fingernails are usually blue. I am so glad you landed here. Whether you are here to learn about indigo leaf to dye pot, or just curious how a backyard patch can turn into a handful of cash, you are in the right spot. Stick around, ask questions, and let us grow something colorful together. Salutations from Micro Homestead Business, and thanks for being part of this slow craft journey. Natural dye production from backyard to bank account. I never thought my obsession with blue-stained fingernails would turn into a side hustle, but here we are, growing dye plants like indigo, and madder is honestly one of the most satisfying ways to play in the dirt and make money. You are not just gardening, you are farming color. And when you bundle that color into cute DIY dye kits, people will throw money at you because everyone secretly wants to be an artisan. Why dye plants feel like magic? The first time I pulled a fresh indigo leaf out of the ground and watched it oxidize from green to that deep, dreamy blue, I felt like a wizard. No chemicals, no weird lab setup, just sun, water, and a little patience. Madder is the same kind of sorcery, but for reds and coral pinks. You grow it for 2 to 3 years, dig up the roots, and suddenly you have the same pigment that painted ancient tapestries. Customers lose their minds over that story. Selling a dye kit is not about selling powder in a jar. It is about selling that moment when someone's t-shirt shifts from yellow-green to indigo in a bucket on their porch. Start with plants that actually want to grow. If you are in a warm, humid spot, indigo is your best friend. It loves heat and does not complain much as long as it gets water. Japanese indigo is perfect for small space, and you can harvest leaves in 60 days. Madder is more of a long-term relationship. It needs 2 to 3 years for thick roots, but it is perennial and basically impossible to kill once it settles in. Other easy wins are marigold for sunny yellows, coreopsis for orange tones, and black hollyhock for smoky purples. I started with a 4x8 foot bed, and it gave me enough pigment for 30 kits in my first season, turning plants into products people buy. Fresh leaves and roots are great, but they do not ship well. The sweet spot is dried and powdered pigment or concentrated extract cakes. For indigo, you ferment and aerate the leaves to get that blue mud, then dry it into chips. For madder, you wash dry and grind the roots. The moment you vacuum seal that pigment and add a little muslin cloth, some rubber bands, and a handwritten instruction card, you have a dye kit worth $20 to $40. My best-selling kit is called Backyard Blue. It has indigo powder, a pair of gloves, a pre-mordanted bandana, and my weirdly specific playlist for watching the color change. People do not just want the dye. They want the experience. I can throw in a QR code that links to a 3-minute video of you dunking fabric, and suddenly you are not a seller. You are a guide. How to make your blog and kits show up in search. Search engines love specifics, and so do people looking to spend money. Looking to talk about small batch garden grown indigo dye kits for beginners. Mention plant-based dye for baby clothes or low-waste fabric coloring at home. Phrases like homegrown natural dye project and make your own blue with indigo plant get typed into Google every single day. Tell the story of your first harvest. Share the mistakes, like when I left madder in the ground too long and it tried to take over my yard. That kind of honesty keeps readers on the page, and Google rewards that. Pricing and selling without feeling salesy. A starter kit cost me about $4 to make when I grow the plants myself. I sell it for $28 and nobody blinks because they are paying for the story. The convenience and the fact that they do not have to spend 3 years growing madder. Etsy farmers, markets, and Instagram are where my kits move fastest. Post-process videos of the dye bath shifting color and use hashtags like plant dye, slow craft, and backyard indigo. Your caption can just say, I grew this blue in my yard and now it can live on your t-shirt. Watch the DMs roll in, the part nobody tells you. This is not a get-rich-quick thing. It is a get-delighted-slowly thing. You will spend a season learning that slugs also love indigo. You will forget to label a jar and end up with mystery brown. But the first time a stranger sends you a photo of their kid holding a onesie they dyed with your kit, you will realize you are not just selling pigment. You are selling a memory. And that is why natural dye production beats another plastic bottle of right every single time. Ready to get your hands blue? I hope so. Plant something this weekend and thank me in 6 weeks when your first jar of garden-grown color is drying on the windowsill. Thanks for hanging out with me and my blue-stained hands today. If you try growing your own dye garden or grab one of my kits, I would love to see what you make. Tag me or drop a photo and I will cheer you on like the proud plant parent I am. Want more stories about backyard color, slow craft, and the occasional madder root that takes over a flower bed? Join the newsletter, and I will send you garden tips, dye recipes, and behind-the-scenes mess-ups straight to your inbox. No spam, just real dirt and real color. All words, photos, and dye splatters on this site are mine, unless I say otherwise. Please do not copy or republish without asking. Sharing with friends is always welcome, though. Got questions about indigo matter or why your yarn turned green instead of blue? Send me a note and I will help you troubleshoot. We're all learning here. Made with love, sunshine, and a little bit of plant magic. Micro homestead business. If this made you smile or gave you the itch to grow your own blue, hit that like button so I know which posts are actually helping. Share it with your crafty friend who has been talking about quitting synthetic dyes forever. And drop a comment below with your favorite plant color or your biggest dye fail. I read every single one, and I am always here for the stories. Your clicks and comments keep this little dye garden blog growing so more people can find it. Thanks for being part of the color crew. I appreciate you more than my indigo plants appreciate a rainy week.